Do you think you're capable of having a bigger blast as well with your experiments?
Nowadays, kids have phones, and it's so easy to remove age restriction. They just need to go on YouTube and type how to remove parental control.
I do kiddie experiment. I don't do adult experiment. Do I do like this, that I mix two components of science, like scientist, and it's a huge blast and somebody is harmed? Nobody is harmed by my experiment, and it doesn't blast like that. That something gets fire. It blasts in a small amount. No.
Do you think you can learn it from YouTube and do that as well?
No, because I am still small, so I always do experiments which I can do at home, and which there is not written PG.
What is PG?
Parents guidance and parents guidance. I don't do that. Means that is not for children, because I am telling the law says that if it is not PG means kids can do that. If it is PG means kids need their parents' guidance. If their parents are together with them and they allow, they can do. But some things if their parents say if you want to do, if you don't want to do, then kids can do it alone, because if they have safety gear with them, they can do. I always keep a mug of water with me. I don't do it just like this without reading and without getting all things, all information. Experiment is done in a place where nobody gets hurt. Even India, America, Russia, they all do missile experiment where they launch it in the Pacific Sea or in the Indian Ocean or in some other ocean at exact center. They don't even, and the terrorists blast into public places.
So if they are saying that even we are doing an experiment, then what would you do?
I would tell them this is not a experiment. Experiment means where you are alone, you are not harming anybody. That is known as experiment, and which is new to you, and which is something which is done for good or fun without harming anybody.
So as far as I personally go, back then the main source of information for anything were news channels, maybe newspapers, and that's about it. Because 10 years ago, 8 years ago when I was 10, I didn't have a smartphone. So basically that was the source of my information. So whatever the news people used to write, whatever the news channels used to tell us was basically what is reality, what is going on in the world. That's it for us. So basically if the news channel is, even if the news channel is painting a different country or a state in a bad color and like showing that there are a lot of terrorists, that's what we used to believe, that's what influenced kids. Nowadays it's completely different, because every kid, every 10-year-old, especially I'm in the UK, so I can see how the things work here as well and back in India as well. Every 10-year-old now has a smartphone, has an Instagram account, has a YouTube account, has a Snapchat account. So the amount of information that they have access to, especially with Google, is insane. Because first of all, when I was 10, I only used to get my mom's laptop to play games for half an hour and 1 hour, in which I didn't really go on Google, because I'm not wasting my 1 hour gaming time on anything else. And even if I would, there were a lot of age restrictions. Nowadays kids have phones, and it's so easy to remove age restriction. They just need to go on YouTube and type how to remove parental control. That's how easy it is. So basically I'm assuming everyone who has a smartphone has access to everything online. That's basically the truth. So nowadays they can consume information on YouTube, Instagram. There are so many places to consume information. So definitely that is playing a big role in it. As you know, the BBC documentary, which has created quite a, what should I say? It has created quite a controversy.
Yes.
In India, in UK. So things like that, things like PR nowadays. So that can paint a country, a prime minister, in a really bad color or a bad shape. Like now, the person who's gonna look at the BBC's, who has no idea who Narendra Modi is really, who just came across Instagram reels and saw a reel of just the BBC documentary. For that person, for that child, I don't know what his thoughts on Narendra Modi is gonna be when he doesn't know what he's really like. Because that the whole controversy around the documentary is it's not quite accurate, or it has some misinformation. That's what the controversy is about. So if any of that is true or closely true, then that's a real big problem, because a person who doesn't know Modi, who doesn't know anything about India in the UK, is developing thoughts that are entirely false, which might be what I was doing back then, because the news channels and the newspapers were telling me that. BBC is also a news channel, so at this point you can't even trust BBC. And again, the fake news that goes on Instagram is crazy. You can one day you can be the Prime Minister of India, the next day you can be a businessman, and the third day you can be bankrupt, depending on what Instagram chooses for you and what Instagram proceeds. Because I have seen so many people, like there are people who aren't even millionaires, but they are just posing to be millionaires and trying to sell off their scheme that we are gonna I'll teach you how to manage money and be a millionaire yourself. So basically, fake news, artificial as in artificial posing, and people just flexing about their fake money. Even if they don't have money, they're flexing about it so that they can earn more money from others. So that's a big threat nowadays, and I think that is definitely impacting politics around the world.